Welcome to this tech tip. We'll be looking at how to speed up the process of creating workplanes and finding features for multiplane applications, both mill and turn. At a high level, the typical Edgecam solids machining workflow begins with the virtual cam setup and then workplane creation if necessary. Now, we're not going to go recover the same information that was covered previously in Workplane Essentials video. It's linked in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at it. I'm simply going to pick up from there and show some additional items that we want you to know. So after workplanes are created, if necessary, then feature recognition is done, and it's always done in the active workplane. And that means that in a multiplane scenario, such as mills with rotary axes, lathes with live tooling, we're potentially going back to step 2 to make more workplanes and then feature recognition in those workplanes, and then moving on to building tool path and simulating NC code. If you've gone through training with us, we've talked about this in context of multiplane machining. Here, we're going to show some faster ways to get the same steps done with less effort. Let's have a look. Even complex parts often have simple prismatic geometry. Turning on the render by slope overlay and changing view to visualize this workpiece. It contains flat faces, slots, pockets, holes, and other very simple geometry, but multiple different index directions. Moving over to feature recognition, the basic way that feature recognition works at its foundational level is that we request a set of the types of items we're looking for. And that feature recognition is done from the active workplane, which is selected from the workplane selector at the bottom of the features or setup tabs. After selecting OK, the features I've asked for are created in the active workplane. So if I want to move over to the front of the part, I have to choose a suitable workplane and then run feature recognition again, even though we're looking for the same sets of features. So that's the default workflow, where feature recognition is always done in the active plane. So next I'm going to go shift to another workplane. I've pre-created a variety of workplanes in this part using the techniques covered in the Workplane Essentials video. So this workplane, it sets a tool to be perpendicular to this face where it can drill holes. And there's many, many more that were pre-created. Due to time, I didn't want to waste your time in the video watching me make those. But there was some time to do that. When I go to feature recognition, an advanced workflow that's available is to go to select faces and choose the workplanes that I want to find features in. So I can choose multiple workplanes and then do feature recognition at one time and build the set that I'm looking for across all of those workplanes. After selecting OK, Edgecam goes and finds all of those types of features in all of the planes I asked for. That's quite a time saver compared to going one by one through each different workplane. However, I still had to create the workplanes in advance. Now I want to move into a tangent of the feature bin for just a moment. Notice the trash can where we have the bin view, and those are features that were part of the set that Feature Finder created, but are not going to be used in the machining setup and are thrown into the bin. This is a really important concept for feature recognition, is that Feature Finder makes a set of features. Now, if I take features that are in the main group and delete them, they go into the bin. Again, we know that there's things in the bin because there's a red border. But if I go to find features, leave everything intact, find features in the active plane, there's a note that says, hey, we didn't come up with anything, but by the way, there are features in the bin. And that's a reminder we didn't make new features because we're trying to keep a set up to date. And you've got stuff in the bin. So if you want to start clean in a part, you need to delete the features that are in the bin. That completely clears it. There's now no more red border behind the trash can. That's how I know the bin's empty. And then we can go back to find features. Now I have an even faster workflow to demonstrate. We're going to ask for the same types of features, but rather than using a list of work planes, I'm going to turn on the Select Faces option. This allows me to work interactively with the solid model. So I'll select the faces that represent the index directions I want to come from. And to demonstrate how this works initially, I'll just select a handful of faces. The result is that feature recognition is done in all 4 index directions, and because I have work planes that are already there in the part, they're assigned to suitable work planes. Now, I actually have a couple of work planes that have the same z-axis facing, so rather than top, I want to change the work plane of those features to the work plane I'll actually machine them from. That's a personal preference of mine, just in case you ever have a quiz on that. And then we see that the remaining features in the front, the right, and the tilt work planes that were already pre-designated. Now, I'm going to blow the features away, but here's another trick. Instead of undo, I'm going to select all the features, hold the Shift key, and delete on the keyboard. Shift-delete bypasses the bin, so then there's only one item in the bin, and it's very quickly cleaned out. Here's a second tip. To clean the work planes, I'm going to go into the plugin area to clean up work planes. There's a File Macros plugin. This is installed with Edgecam. A lot of folks don't seem to know about this, but it's a handy little utility when you have a bunch of work planes and want to quickly delete them all in one shot, instead of using the delete work plane command that works with one at a time. So we're now down to as if this was a brand new model with the system work planes plus component datum. So when we go back to find features and run this same select faces option, I'm going to take the time to go through all of the different major index directions that this part requires. Keep in mind, all of the work planes that I had pre-created when this quick demonstration started have all been blown away, so those work planes aren't there. I've skipped work plane creation. That would be another way to put it. I've completely skipped work plane creation. And what does Edgecam do? Well, again, there's the work plane at the top. I want to change that to the work plane I'll be machining from, just because the two have the same Z facing, so which one to put it in? I've cleared up that question. But on the others that don't fit up to standard work planes, notice that we begin to have work planes that have names called feature find, feature find.1, .2, etc. Edgecam knows we need work planes, and so it doesn't stop and say, you better create them. It says, I can auto-create them for you. Wow, that's awesome. So this workflow allows Edgecam to auto-create the work plane, and if you need to change the work plane, just use the edit work plane command, and you can change anything you want about it. You could change the name of it. You could also change the origin, because these work planes are going to be coincident with the origin of the top or world coordinate system. So great, it's a huge time saver for me because I don't have to go spend the time to create all of those work planes simply to then do feature recognition. Now, there are some areas that still need attention. Those would be holes where I don't have a flat face that I can pick to let Edgecam auto-create a work plane. And so the question here is, what do we do on that? Well, if I turn off select faces, because I've already got what I need, but now go into hole options. Hole options has a really neat option called all holes. So I'm going to call this advanced workflow 3. Automatically find all the hole features. So based on the maximum hole diameter and other criteria for helping Edgecam understand who's a hole, who's a pocket in my feature set. What will happen now is that now Edgecam looks for holes, and anywhere where there's a valid hole, if there's not a work plane is auto-created that again starts with hole find as its prefix, hole find.1, hole find.2, etc. So looking at the features, we very quickly have all the features we need to begin the machining process. Let's turn our attention over to turn applications for a moment. When this new model is loaded, we get the turn workplane, but we also get the axial workplane, which is used for live tool applications, with the tool pointed to the face of the part. In the axial workplane, we have the green y-axis indicator because it's a mill-based workplane, where in the turn it does not. Mill-based 3D type versus turn 2D type. Very easy to tell the difference. Just to tie back to the Workplane Essentials, when you create a turn workplane, you do want the dimensions to be 2D to get the ring effect around it, where for mill workplanes, the dimensions should be 3D. Going over to feature recognition. I'm in the lathe environment, so I have the opportunity to create turn features, but I also have the opportunity for the mill features for the live tool. So I'll select the types of features that are suitable for this particular machining application. And then I'm going to go over to select planes and notice that the axial workplane is available for us when we're in a lathe with live tool environment. The results are our turn cross sections as we would expect, and then a couple of pocket features and a hole feature. So the hole feature captures the two holes that are aligned to the axial workplane, and the two open pockets are also valid if I wanted to machine those flats using the side of an end mill that's parallel with the z-axis. Well, my preference personally is to use radial tooling where possible, especially if I have a machine with y-axis capability and the travel to do it. So rather than use that, let's see what would happen if select faces is chosen. With select faces, I'm going to choose the index directions I want the tools to come from. If you think of things that way, even though it's a turret-based machine, think about it as the directions the tool approaches the part from. And with that selected, we have our turn cross sections. We still have the axial stuff that we had before, but notice that now we have features that are on their own custom workplanes. Edgecam auto-created workplanes, just like we showed before. And we have the through holes, y-axis holes, and the flats available. So that means that the stuff on the axial workplane maybe we wouldn't need, right? And we could delete those if we wanted to. There's also a hole here, and that's only a single hole where really we want to deal with these as radial holes. So there's another aspect that I want to show that's really helpful for lathes with live tooling. So undoing the features, going back to feature recognition, and I'll go to the hole options and we'll turn on radial holes. So we're going to call this advanced workflow tip number 4, using radial hole features in the appropriate circumstance. To be radial, the hole has to intersect the center line, and these holes appear to do that. They appear to intersect the z-axis center line. And so choosing a face, again, same faces as before, faces for the direction of travel. The feature recognition results include everything we had before, but now these special radial hole features. The radial hole feature is going to allow me to produce NC code that's the clean, efficient NC code with C-axis directions in this case that we want to have. You see the features. Generally looks good, but there's a couple of vertical holes that we don't need, so I can throw those pieces out of the set. They go into the bin. And the same thing with the two open pockets in the axial side. And very, very quickly, I had the features needed to create a machining process. My final demo for this tech tip is a nozzle. We see customers that have holes that come in at different index angles, and this is a great example of how easy feature recognition can make the job. It's round, Edgecam guess turning, valid guess, but let's switch over to the mill environment. We'll flip the part over around the x-axis to get it laid the way we want for our vertical machining center, and then use the setup window's quick workplane snaps to set a workplane at the center of the part and the high point of the dome. And when I look in from a top view, you can see that the holes definitely do not have the same index direction. Now, if I went to find features and worked with the basic workflow of no work planes, no select faces, no radial holes or all holes or any of that. So basic workflow, find features in the active work plane, there's nothing built. I would need to have work planes and features for that, but let's use all holes and see how easy this is. Notice the results, all holes finds a ton of features. It finds all of them. Now, these are through holes, and so it's actually found the work planes and the holes from both directions. That's clear both from the volume of features and from the cone directions that we see on both sides. So undoing that, here's one final tip. When you go to find features and you're using all holes, you can also use select faces. So I'm going to select the top of the dome as a face, and Edgecam knows that that's a clue that that is the index direction I'm coming from. And so the other holes that technically are part of all the holes are auto-deleted for me. Cool. Why does that happen? It happens because there's a preference that enables that. So if you go to Preferences and Solids and the Feature options, Delete Duplicate Features is turned on by default on software install. If you've turned it off, you might want to turn it on and you'll gain the same behavior I just showed here. So we've seen a couple of advanced workflows. In the first one, we still do the virtual cam setup and still do some work plane creation. I didn't show creating all of the work planes for the first part in the video, but that had been done as pointed out. But once that's done, we then do feature recognition one time in all the work planes by using the Select Planes option that's in the Feature Finder command. That speeds up the process a bit, then off to toolpath creation and NC code, obviously. But there's an even faster workflow, and that one was in Workflow 2. And in that one, we start with the virtual cam setup. That's always done. But we skip work plane creation and move right to feature recognition because we have the select faces and the all holes option. Now, those are not the hammer to hit every nail with, but being aware of them, they provide some advanced workflows that work well for parts like some of the ones shown here. Keep in mind that when the new work planes, if needed, are created, those new work planes have a prefix of feature find and hole find. But if you already have work planes there, then the work planes that are there that are suitable are used. The origins of any new work planes created will be coincident with the top work plane, but you can always go use edit work plane to make changes to things such as names, origins, etc. later. And this is a very fast workflow. It sets us up to very quickly move over to what we really want to do, toolpath creation, and then simulation and NC code. We hope these tips will be helpful to you, give you some more tools in your toolbox to get the job done quickly.